employer was indirectly forced by the government to take over the competition before bankruptcy. This meant merging the workforce, sometimes not by choice. I have never had a problem with other workers. On the West Coast, my employer had about 1/4 the volume of employees. I quickly went from having a held position to relief. I was drafted to work with the competition. I was very open to the concept because I knew we had no choice. There was one guy that hated my company, and thus I was the representative he was going to take his wrath out on. I knew there was going to be an issue. We were taking a dog in a kennel to the Fragile slide. I made a comment about how nice the dog was, and he went into some verbal diarrhea about chopping the dog into small pieces and making a cauldron stew. From this point on, I was very careful around him. He spoke about killing me and sending me away in a body bag. I would watch as he never put locks on containers coming off the flights. He was hoping to damage luggage and cargo. One time he was working the loader to put containers on the flight. I went on the loader to help him prepare the locks. As I'm on the edge of the loader, he pulls away from the aircraft and there is a large gap. I lose balance and one leg falls through the open space. Luckily, he didn't pull back the loader, otherwise I would have lost my leg. I did have scratch marks and heavy bruising down my entire leg. Then he came up to me and mentioned that I'll be going home in a body bag. Next, we worked a quick turnaround flight. Our lead directed me on the passenger bridge to join the aircraft while the other guy put chocks on the wheels to prevent the aircraft from moving. He planned the placement of the chocks so it would be impossible for me to remove them. As I made a huge effort to remove the chocks, they became loose and my physical motion forced me towards the wheel flaps that were folded down. I sliced the top of my head, blood is flowing freely. I stagger away, almost fainting, and some workers at the next gate see me. They help me to safety. Fire and rescue show up to apply bandages. My coworkers were all concerned for me except for one guy, and he whispers to me that next time I go home in a body bag. At the emergency, I had 8 stitches to close the wound. My final interaction with the guy, we were loading a very heavy piece of small cargo to Vegas. Knowing his past history, I explained that I can count of 3. We will lift the piece, and on a count of 3, we will gently lower the item. I count, we lift the box, move it over to the aircraft, and I begin counting 1. He drops the box while I scramble to remove my hands. My left index finger is stuck. I lift the box, remove my finger, and you can see a pool of blood around the glove. It's throbbing. I remove the glove, and the tip of my finger is crushed. I see him laughing. That evening I spent many hours getting my finger fixed. I happened to have the same doctor, and she made a comment about how this guy must really hate me. The next day I write a document with the ramp general manager that I'll never work with this employee again. I regret not asking for a copy. Weeks later, the manager quit the company. Fast forward 14 years later, I am a trainer in cargo. Many airport workers are now trying to transfer to cargo. I asked my boss if I can see my personal file. The document I wrote that I would never work with this guy was not in my file. I told management that I refused to work with him if he asked for a transfer. Then COVID happened. He didn't vax and took retirement, so I dodged a bullet.